Women doctors, we hear you. We know your struggles. We know what it's like to be a female doctor in this dominant world. And guess what? Dr. Summer Casmel and myself teamed up together and created Women Dentists Connect. We wanted to create a safe, educational, and inspirational place to come and ask those crazy questions that you don't want to ask. We know that being a female doctor is different than it is for male doctors. You just have different issues, different questions, different concerns. So Dr. Summer Casmel and I are actually hosting a live event in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona on October 11th and 12th. This is for women doctors and their teams. We're talking business. We're talking issues that female doctors face. We're talking team breakouts, how to really rally your team. And we're giving you hundreds of tangibles that you can take home and implement Monday morning. We're also having an amazing lineup of speakers where you'll actually get CE for attending. So come on in. We can't wait to see you. We only have a handful of people that we're allowing in. So run on over to womendentistsconnect.com. Use the coupon code podcast to get the Dental 18 family coupon. Guys, I cannot wait. I would love to see you there. I'd love to connect with you, learn from you, and share. So hop on over Women Dentists Connect. I can't wait to see you in October. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental 18 podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
Two perspectives, one mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Alrighty, guys, it is our Thursday, Monday morning mashup. What does this mean for all of you that are just joining us? That means our episode today is going to be one of those episodes that you can share with your team to use for your team meeting. We made these specific for you so that way those meetings are hard to come up with. Whether you have your meetings on Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, I don't really care. But these are a topic for you and your team to jump in together, share with one another this podcast, and make your meetings easier, more effective, and productive. All right, let's get started with our Monday morning mashup. Hello, Dental 18 listeners. This is your host, Kiera Dent, and today we are going to talk about scheduling. I feel like this is a topic I could talk for hours on. I actually do an event with Tiffany Trader, and we do scheduling and phone skills as a live event, and scheduling is just one of those things. So let's talk about some ideas that hopefully will help you out. So there's two different types of scheduling that I tend to see in offices. And I was just recently asked a question about this. So I figured, hey, let's hop on the podcast. Let's give you guys some different ideas to think about. So when it comes to scheduling, there's typically the 3 columns or 2 columns, depending upon your doctor. My favorite type of scheduling, to get those block scheduling in there, block scheduling means we're blocking time for specific procedures. So my favorite is, and I know we've talked about this before, so it'll be a quick recap and then give you guys another idea. So with this, I personally like the far left column to be our high production. Anything over $500 or $1,000 goes in the far left-hand column. Then the right-hand column is lower procedure or lower value procedures. So couple fillings, it could be crown seats, it could be anything. If you are lucky and you have a third column, that could be assistant only procedures, meaning crown seats, depending upon the state you're in, night guards, bleaching impressions, or delivering of bleaching trays. And then we have our hygiene. So that's my personal favorite way to see a schedule. The reason I like it is because I can instantly see where I need to add high production. I can look at my schedule and I can schedule accordingly. So that's going to help eliminate the really, really crazy days of lots of little procedures that we're not producing very much. And then also those big producing days where we don't have any of this, the smaller quote unquote fluff procedures. And it really helps balance it all out. So when I do that, I will actually block that there has to be a high production procedure at the 8 o'clock spot and the 1 o'clock spot. I love to have high production when my doctor is the most fresh. I hate an 8 a.m. crown seat appointment. My doctor is usually not super happy with me if we're starting our day out with $0 of production. I know we have to fit all those in, but let's be smart. Let's set our day off right. And let's not start our doctor's day with that, especially when they're the most fresh, they're the most productive. So when we can do that, you then can see in your day where you should fill in. Also, when I'm scheduling, I look at my entire month. So let's say doctor wants to see a patient back within 2 weeks. I look at my whole month, look to see what days I'm super profitable, meaning it's a $5,000 day, a $10,000 day. Well, I'm probably not going to add this patient pending upon their procedure. If it's a high production procedure, I'm going to look for my day that's about a $2,000 day at the month view. And then I'm going to offer the spot, look at that day, see if I can put them in there. So that way my days even out on production. If it's a crown seat, I'm going to look at my really high, probably $10,000 day, $5,000 day, whatever your goal is. Go to that day and see if I could put a crown seat on that day. So that way I'm balancing out the high production versus the low production. This way our days are good. You guys, one of the biggest complaints I get from doctors is, my day, I run around like a chicken and it's super crazy and chaotic and I don't make any money. Those days are not good for us. We don't like those days. So the thing that I hear from doctors pretty regularly is, I wish it could just be more consistent. I wish it could be where I have high production with the additional side pieces and it's pretty consistent instead of having the really, really, really big, heavy days and then the really, really fluff days. So guys, if that's the feedback we're getting, look at yourself, check your schedule. I also love if you guys will take and challenge yourself for a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes, where every single day we grade the schedule on a scale of 1 to 10. Ask your doctors, hey, what was today? I don't like 5s. You guys know I don't like that middle of the road, but let's go for it and let's see what kind of a day it was. 10 is a perfectly scheduled day. Everything went smooth. The front office was happy. The back office was happy. Our doctor was productive. They weren't crazy busy. They weren't not busy. It was a really, really good day. A 1 is it was a terrible day. We were behind all day. Everything went wrong. And you guys can have things go wrong and still have a 9 or a 10 scheduled day. So rate this every single day on a calendar. So just get that cute puppy calendar from the dollar store, put it up on the wall and rate your day every single day and see what you get. Look to see the patterns. What are the patterns of when you schedule like this? How can you make it more consistent with set schedules that are more? Look to see the patterns of what your doctor likes. Aim for that. So that's one way of scheduling. That's my preferred method and a couple ideas to make sure you're calibrated and making sure that you're constantly improving that. Another thing, this is a wild idea. Some offices really, really enjoy scheduling each assistant in their own columns. So this way, your assistants are hitting certain production numbers based on their column, and they know they have to produce X amount. To me, this is a totally different way of thinking about the schedule. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. The reasons I like it are because then your assistants know where they need to be, they know how they can add, and they are over their set column. You can schedule lunches to make sure every single assistant takes their lunch. You can also make sure that you have more production because you can offset these production, and you can also insert different fluff appointments per se. They have to get done. They're $0 appointments. We can put them in there. You can also make sure that the assistants and the doctor are being utilized to their maximum efficiency with either the X's for doctor, a slash for an assistant. In open dental, it's the colored boxes on the left side of the appointment, or it's the white boxes on the left side of the appointment. There's X's and slashes in Dentrix, EagleSoft. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but there's always ways on the left side of the appointment on the schedule. You can see where we're utilizing our doctor, where we're utilizing our assistant. So I do like this. Also, when you do that, it can help keep your assistants. There's an office that I work with that does this because their assistants, one assistant would always take the big procedures. The other assistant would never take the other assistant would never take the harder procedures. And so it became kind of this back and forth. You didn't have a unified back office team. So what they did is they started scheduling per assistant per column. So just like you would schedule a doctor, their set columns, and just like a hygienist, your assistants also would have this. Now, the areas of concern are you still have to do sterilization. Your assistants need to pull them back on time. This is a totally different way of scheduling. On this, if you're going to do this, I would strongly advise setting high production appointments in both of these columns. Otherwise, it's hard for you to see where to put them. Also, if your front office team is not familiar with how the back office works, they can double up and have 2 root canals side by side when that's just not feasible, because you can put production in both columns. So making sure that you also build templates. So you can do perfect day scheduling. You can put blocks in. I have a pedo office in Montana, and they're in open dental. Their office manager is seriously a rock star. I give her a massive shout out. What she does is she goes in and she creates a schedule, templates. And in open dental, you cannot do it across the board on every single day. You have to copy and paste these little blocks as of right now. It might change in the future, fingers crossed. But she literally will map it out. So these are where you put all these procedures. This is where you do it. It is mapped out perfectly every single day, and people do not schedule outside of those blocks. So I would strongly advise, if you're going to do the assistant production and making sure that each column is productive, making sure you block exactly how that schedule should look in perfect scheduling. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be ideal, but at least the front office team has a template and a framework of how to go about scheduling this way. So, for example, 8 a.m. on the left column, that would be, let's say this is my column. Column 2 would be Tiffany's column. So we want to make sure that we have column 1. I'm going to start with a crown prep. That needs to be a crown prep. The reason why is because my 8 a.m. is going to start with a crown prep. Doctor's going to be in with me. Tiffany's 8 a.m. needs to start with a crown seat. Well, then at 8:30, doctor's going to pop over into Tiffany's column 2. He's going to do another crown prep because at 8:30, I should be able to take over and do the temporary in my column while doctor heads over and either does fillings or a crown with Tiffany. So that way we can dovetail and do the zigzag side pattern of production. Back and forth. Doctor, we watch those X's and make sure for the entire day, doctor is being utilized the whole day long. Doctor is the only one in the entire practice that can cut teeth. There are lots of people that they can place bands, they can do temporaries, they can, depending upon your state, they can pat cord. We need to figure out what our doctor only can do. We need to figure out what our assistants can do. We need to figure out what our hygienists only can do. Doctor might not be the only one who can anesthetize. Well, sweet. If we can utilize our hygienists and we could send our assistants in to do the exams, I know a lot of people don't like to split it up this way, but think about how we could do it. Could it work? And if so, how could we make it work? But the really cool thing about staggering it across this way is then you literally can see where doctor goes all day long. We're maximizing them. We're maximizing our assistants, and we're able to really schedule that. But make sure you go down and you pre-block. So there will be little colored blocks on the schedule of crown goes here, fillings go here, crown goes next, fillings go here, put a crown seat here, put a new patient down here, put a limited exam here. So you kind of create a perfect schedule. Your front office team really will need help with this, because if you've never worked in the back office, you might not know what things can go right next to each other as well as somebody who's worked in the back office. So there's an easy solution to that. Just build the template for them. People can follow a template, but make sure your office has we follow the template model instead of, get rid of those blocks. They don't really matter. But then go through and evaluate. I strongly advise, no matter what type of scheduling you do, whether you do the high production, low production, assistant column, or you choose to do the 2 assistant columns or 3 assistant columns, whatever you choose to do, make sure in morning huddle, you always go 2 days out. Look at your schedule 2 days out. Give the feedback. Ideally, you should be confirming 48 hours in advance. 48 hours gives you enough time to refill your schedule if patients fall off. And also, it gives you time in the morning huddle to look at your schedule 2 days out. If something needs to be moved, or if we have something that's going to cross over and create bottlenecks, if we're consistently looking at our schedule 2 days out, giving the front office feedback, we can make our schedule so much more effective. You can move things around. I was just in an office and it's crazy. This office told me, Kiera, we are in June and we are scheduling SRP patients into December. There is literally no space in our schedule. So I love these. I love being a third party that's not connected to it at all. Go through and see where I could make space. We were able to find 6 SRP spots within the next 4 weeks just by being smarter with our scheduling, just by looking for those snippets of time, just for looking where we could utilize our assistants. Assistants could help us out with kid prophies. So we could take those little kiddos that are 2 years old and 5 years old out of the hygiene schedule. We could consolidate some families, maybe do a little assisted hygiene on families, and we were able to create 6 spots in the next 4 weeks for SRPs. I did this in another office where we were looking at the schedule and we were able to find and as a whole team, I did this as an exercise. So what I did was I put the whole team in the break room and we had the schedule pulled up and I went through all of the appointments with them and I had all of them tell me like, okay, where can we find space in the schedule? Where could we not have fluff? Where could we maximize our doctor? Where could we maximize our assistants? And it was so awesome because the team all started to see the schedule together. We all started looking. The assistants had a different perspective. The hygienist had a different perspective. The front office had a different perspective and the doctor had a different perspective. So as a team, I had them go through almost 3 weeks. So I literally had them in a 2-hour meeting where we went through 3 weeks, day by day, all of us looking, where could we change this? If we could move a patient, where could we move a patient to be more effective with our time? How could we utilize each person to their maximum efficiency, not killing anyone out, not burning anyone out? How could we do this? That office, I will tell you, they're one of my favorite offices. They implement really, really well. They're dedicated as a team. That office was able to add, they were producing about 120,000 a month. They went all the way up to 180, almost 200,000 their first months working with me. Well, with trying this, they actually were able to find it. They say, Kiera, there's no way we can do this. Like, this feels crazy. And it's super awesome when the whole team works together scheduling this way. You can find the efficiency pieces. You can look for it. And when the whole team is working together, everybody sees it from a different angle. And when we bring all those angles together, we get a prime schedule. We get a perfect schedule. And then if we take it to the next level where we actually evaluate the schedule, give it a number, 1 through 10. How was it? What are our 10 days? The level 10 days. Let's make that be, and then let's make that be our standard. And then let's constantly watch to see when can we get it to where we have 50% scheduling at a 10. Then you can create KPIs for your scheduling team. You can, because that's going to watch your production. It's going to watch the flow and you can actually fix the scheduling problems that I see constantly in offices. So take whatever nuggets came to you today. Maybe it's you want to try out the assistant scheduling where you do schedule productive columns for them. Maybe you want to sit your team down and have a 2-hour meeting where the whole team, day by day, we go through, we figure out where we could make an appointment smaller. Maybe we're utilizing our doctor and we have 2 crown seats right next door to each other. We're not maximizing our doctor. Move that crown seat down 30 minutes. Move up, add in high production. Utilize the block scheduling. Build a template. Build the template on your schedule. Get those colors on there. Have the whole team commit to this for 6 weeks where you try it out. Pre-schedule SRP and new patient spots. I strongly advise at least 2 new patient or SRP blocks per week per hygienist. I know if you have a massively big office, that probably is too many. So on average, about 2 to 4 openings per week that you have in there. They have a 24-hour hold is what I call it. So you hold that appointment until 24 hours before that appointment, and then you can fill it with whatever you can fill at that time. So if the appointment is a new patient tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I can't fill that spot with anything else besides a new patient until 24 hours ahead of time. So today at 11 for tomorrow at 11, I could then fill it with something else. But I hold that spot waiting for that new patient to call or that SRP. When you block the schedule, you take the time, then you're able to keep this up. So an easy way that I just helped an office do was I suggested to them that at the beginning of every month, so on the 1st or the 5th of the month, whatever day, just put it on your schedule, that office manager or that scheduler, whomever it is, they go out 7 months and they pre-schedule the hygiene blocks. This way, 7 months, because we're scheduling for hygiene. We schedule 6 months in advance typically, but we might go maybe 6.5 months out. So if we schedule 7 months out, we put those blocks in there, we can hold those, and it's an easy system and pattern that we can follow. If you can pre-schedule out all your doctor blocks of high production in the morning, low production in the afternoon, pre-schedule those, have the office follow this template and see if that template gives you a level 10 day. If not, fix the template until it does and then have everybody follow that. And then the last idea was to go through your schedule with the whole team day by day for several weeks, see where you can improve the schedule from everybody looking at it together. See if this helps. You guys, the schedule is a huge issue in offices. This is a big deal. Like, I spend so much of my time coaching on scheduling, coaching on fixing the problems. Here are 3 easy ideas that you can go in, implement, figure out. This would be a fantastic meeting, a team meeting for you guys. Fix the schedule. Figure out what you're going to do. Put one of these ideas into place. Try it for 6 weeks. See what happens. Or guys, if you already have things going on, put this on your calendar for in 6 weeks. You're going to work on the schedule. Your whole team's going to listen to this podcast. You guys are going to take one of these ideas and implement it. There's lots and lots and lots of ways you can do this. Fix the epidemic of scheduling. Get it done. Have your office. And if you have other ideas beyond this that's working great, please, Dental A Team is a community. And I believe if we're all sharing, helping each other out, leaving reviews, getting more people to listen, the better we're all going to be, including myself. I'm right in there with you. I learned so many of these ideas when I go into offices, and then I share them with you. So let's level up. Let's A-team it together. This is how we fix our scheduling with hopefully a different perspective. Send in your ideas. I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental A-Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A-Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.